We're live. All right, here we go. You guys ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
On this episode of the Culture Smash Cast,
Paramount Television cancel?
Oh crap! What was my story? Oh yeah, and Rotten Tomatoes never changes.
I'm leaving it. I'm leaving it.
I literally forgot.
I'm leaving it. It's the Culture Smash Cast, episode 656 for August the 21st, 2024. I'm Stephen Lackey, editor of the Culture Smash Cast. Nico?
Nicholas Qualls, contributor to the Culture Smash Cast.
And dumbass. I mean, Zach.
Dumbass. I'm Zach.
Perfect.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm finding corpses today, and no one's gonna know what that means except for you.
Except for me. Join us every Wednesday night, live on YouTube and Twitch, starting at around 6:15 CST or 10 minutes later than that because we're late. Follow us on your favorite platform and join the conversation. We do follow the comments and answer questions all along the way, so if you're in here right now and you want to throw movie comments and questions our way, we'll definitely respond to those as we do the show. Special thanks to Skinny Mixes for supporting the Culture Smash Cast. Skinny Mixes are coffee, cocktail, and dessert syrups that are 0 sugar, 0 calories, and 0 to 2 carbs. Head on over to skinnymixes.com and try some of their drink and dessert syrups, such as the white chocolate, salted dark chocolate, and salted caramel. They also feature a variety of cocktail mixes and water infusions. Spice up your coffee or cocktail with less sugar, carbs, and calories. Use promo code CULTURESMASH for a 15% discount on your order. If you spend $50, you get free shipping. Can't go wrong with that. Quickly, before we jump into conversation, let's see. Hello, Samantha. What's up? What's up, Sydney? What's up, Nicholas? What's happening? Good to see you guys here. Zach, what's up? Finally watched Furiosa last night. Loved the movie, but really CGI heavy, which was a shame. I like the movie a lot too, but I also agree the CGI is CGI-y. It's problematic.
It's okay. The CGI is unacceptable.
It's problematic for a franchise that is so well known for its practicals. Well, I still like the movie though.
So I was looking at some behind the scenes for that movie, and it's like they filmed that whole fight scene in the middle all practically, basically. With of course they can't do some stuff, so
Right.
they CGI'd some of it. But then they had to replace the entire landscape with CG.
Well, and that's the problem.
And I'm like, well, then what's the fucking point if you're going to replace everything around with CG?
it has that green screen look now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the point?
And you know what's really interesting about that is we've been doing this for so long, and no one still seems to know how to light for green screen. Because
you have to light for the sun.
yeah, and it never works.
No.
It never works. You can always... I guess some people aren't as cognizant to it, but me, I'm vision impaired, and I still see that the sunlight is coming from the wrong fucking direction based off what's happening behind these people, and it just throws me off every time. Anyway, that movie's been out for a hot minute, so moving on. Nico, what have you been up to, sir?
You know, I never have a good answer for that.
You don't!
Just, parent life, devouring audiobooks. Actually, I know you are a big Expanse fan.
I am.
Have you gotten or read James S. A. Corey's newest book in a new series? It's called The Mercy of Gods.
No. I'd be interested, though.
It's really good. It's not Expanse connected, although you could possibly theory craft it. But no, it's humans in a far future on a new world essentially get invaded and taken over by an alien race, and the brightest of humanity gets kidnapped and taken to a homeworld, essentially, to basically do whatever the alien race tells them to do. They have this overlord species has collected the best and brightest of all sorts of other species around the known universe, I guess. And this is humanity's first instance of meeting alien life. And they are trying to figure out what does this alien species want out of them, and how can they try to use this to their advantage to, get their freedom again. It's the start of a new series called The Captives War. I think it's supposed to be a trilogy, but definitely more than this one book. It's really good. If you like The Expanse, it's very same kind of storytelling. If you like the audiobook, it's the same narrator, which will make it.
Oh, it is a good narrator too.
Yeah, it's Jefferson Mays narrates the books, and so it will feel like you're just reading a new Expanse book when you start the audiobook.
So that's kind of good, but I like when an author who's written a series like that I like just doesn't do anything, does something different that's not more of that series. I'm happy to hear that at least, even if it feels like the right style, that it's not directly connected to the Expanse. It's something new to read. That's cool.
I think it's one of the things I really liked about the Expanse is how it handled socio-political issues, and how all these different factions, the Earth, Mars, the Belt, they all felt unique and different, and merging them together. And this is essentially taking that to another level with a completely new species that doesn't think like humanity and trying to operate coexisting with them. So it is very much in the same wheelhouse, but it is new material. I think it's really good. I enjoyed it.
I need something new to read, so I may go grab that. I think I have some Audible credits, so I'm gonna have to get that. So Zach and I did something pretty cool last night. We went and saw Longlegs in the theater again. It is my third screening of that movie. Zach's second screening. But there was a reason we went to see that. Well, why did we go see that, Zach?
Oh, because Alicia Witt was there.
She plays the mom in the movie. If you don't know her, she's been in a lot of other stuff too. It's like Twin Peaks most recently, but you start looking her up, and she's been around for a minute.
It's just like, oh, and the director's gonna intro the film too.
That was some bullshit.
It's like basically Osgood Perkins. They play this recording. It was a pre-recorded thing, but he comes out and goes,
well, but wait, before you say what he did,
yeah,
the director, one of the directors from the film festival, comes out and says, introduces Alicia Witt. Ladies and gentlemen, Alicia Witt's going to be here for a Q&A, and she comes out and says, this is our Nashville premiere. Then she walks off stage, and Osgood's video comes up, and what does he do?
I'm just going to recreate the whole thing. You ready?
Yeah.
Hey, Belcourt Theater. Thank you for coming out. Alicia's going to be here afterwards. Please enjoy the film.
Literally what we just heard. He
Literally
said nothing different.
At least he got the theater name.
I know, but
it's like, man,
you couldn't even say we had a blast while making it. I hope you enjoy it as well.
Not even a little bit of something. And it's so weird because I've been seeing his interviews and stuff lately, and he's not coming off well. He's coming off very elitist and kind of snotty. And then we get this intro, and I'm like,
dude, we went and saw Crank 2 at midnight.
And the intro was awesome.
Some fucking extra, a couple random people who had a screen time of 20 seconds. The director was there. And it was like a 5-minute intro to the film, talking about what it meant to them and how it's been, over the past 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And really?
Yeah, that's what we got. The intro was disappointing. The Q&A, of course, the movie was great.
The movie looks super fucking good on that screen.
It did. It looked really good. The Q&A afterwards was pretty good. It was pretty good. I mean, it was a little silly in places for our taste, but it was pretty good. The coolest thing, the coolest takeaway from it for me was that Alicia Witt is a Belcourt member, which is awesome.
Which makes me wonder, it's like, when she goes, do people recognize her?
Have we been in a movie with her and didn't recognize her? Because the thing is even in Longlegs, she has prosthetics and makeup on. They age her.
It's crazy because, I mean, in the film, the way she acts, I'm like, man, no, this is just her.
Yeah. And then you see her in person and hear her talk about it. You're like, oh, yeah, she had a good bit of makeup on. It looked good.
Yeah, it did.
Because I never thought about it during the movie. I never thought once, oh, she has prosthetics. Didn't occur to me. So that's some really good makeup. Okay, in the chat, the Back to the Future movies are great and considered by many to be classics, but there's a lot of weird plot things. Is anyone else bothered by those?
No.
You know what I think about the Back to the Future movies? 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5 for the
All
first
three?
one. No, 5 out of 5 for the first one. 4 out of 5 for the second one. 4 out of 5 for the third one. Maybe 3.5 out of 5 for the third.
I'd probably go with 3 for that
But
third one.
I'm not going to go 3.
It's got some...
It does, but I don't care. I
Yeah.
love it. First movie, 5 out of 5.
Will second all of that. I agree. I love that franchise. That franchise was a seminal childhood movie franchise. Watched it constantly. I had a DeLorean toy that I played around with all the time. Like that was one of the one of my favorite things about when I went to Universal when I was a kid, because I went when they still had the Back to the Future ride.
I went
And
when they had that ride too, and it was so cool.
it was probably the best ride I rode at Universal. And the fact that it's not there anymore is just so depressing. It's so good. The franchise, I know there's some weird bits, but the franchise overall solid. And first movie,
And you could argue that it's nostalgia, and I would accept that argument, except for the fact when the 4Ks came out, I rewatched everything with my fresh, more filmy eyes, and I still love it.
I mean, you can see all the seams and the makeup and everything now in 4K, and I don't care. It's a good, well-written film.
And those seams and stuff is just part of the charm of the movie for when it was made. Just like if I could get the original cut of Star Wars and see the squares around the TIE fighters, I would love it. I would be there for it. So that stuff doesn't bother me.
Sydney asks, name some horror movies that are overhyped. Okay.
Hey, we could do this.
That is too big of a question.
Steven and I are on the same bandwidth right now, I bet.
Go ahead, Nico.
The Babadook. Zach's favorite movie.
Zach's favorite movie. So I don't think I would go Babadook because The Babadook is actually a wonderful movie. It's just not a great horror movie. It is a wonderful movie, like drama, but it's not. I would call it that scary.
I wouldn't go wonderful either, but okay.
For me, basically anything Blumhouse puts out.
Yeah.
Anytime someone says a Blumhouse movie's awesome, I'm like side-eyeing you.
Like literally, if 95% of all horror movies that come out, if you're like, "Oh yeah, that was great," I'm seriously gonna question you.
The fact that there's a sequel coming out for Smile is beyond me. Okay, I actually have one though. It just occurred to me. Here is a horror movie that is overhyped, overloved.
Here it comes. I know exactly.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't. I'm going Black Phone.
Okay.
Yeah, because people love that movie, and I'm like, it's all right. It's not that great.
Event Horizon has entered the chat.
Event Horizon's a piece of shit, and that's also a science fiction movie. Science fiction first, horror second to me, kinda. Maybe they're there. Yeah, Event Horizon's terrible. Yeah, my friend Nick will pop in here in a minute and talk about how bad that movie is too. So I feel better. But yeah,
I think there is a thing to be said about fun performances in horrible movie like that one. I love Sam Neill in Event Horizon. Mine would be Hereditary.
Good choice.
Good choice. Hereditary. And I know, like when we all saw Hereditary, we didn't see it together, but
yeah,
like when my wife Tina and I, who's the bi-weekly other one, and when we saw it, we were like, this movie is not good. And Steven and Zach were praising it more. We're more on the hype end, but feel free to correct me if I'm misrepresenting, but you guys have more come down as time has come on. It just was so frustrating about how stupid so many of the characters were in that movie, and it's like, how is everyone liking this movie?
Yeah, so I saw it the first time and liked it, and I thought, let me give a second look. And on my second look, it just took a turn for me. Like, I still think the first half of the movie is pretty good, but when the event of all events happens in that movie, the thing.
No spoilers.
Yeah, from
No
that
spoilers.
point, from that point forward, that point forward, the movie just kind of loses me. Yeah, Midsommar's much better movie from the same director, but that director only has one movie that I think is good, which is Midsommar. So
I do think that one is excellent, but
yeah,
Hereditary is not great.
Very good choice. Robert Eggers is the same for me. He's got one good movie. Hopefully, we're about to get a second one.
I'm hoping Nosferatu.
Nosferatu looks good. And Nick is in the chat. He's like, I'm here, Steven, and Event Horizon is a disgrace. Hell yeah. That's what's up.
Did you
like
watching The Northman?
I did not like The Northman.
Oh, okay.
Zach liked it.
No, the fuck I didn't.
Yeah, you did, bitch.
No, I did not.
Oh, maybe it was Dalton that
that did.
Yeah, I didn't.
I walked out of it going, well, that was disappointing as fuck.
That was a piece of
it had
shit.
a good sound mix, though.
Yeah. Well, okay, I remember what it was. It wasn't that you liked the movie. There's one particular sequence in there that you thought was good, and I'm like, nah, it's piece of shit. I hated it.
I do like the scene where they're like dancing around the fire in the rain, and it's like primal. I can relate to that.
Well, that's
can
different.
really
That's
relate to
different.
that.
That's different.
And
All right.
this is weird for me because I tend to like bits. The Lighthouse, I think, is a good example of this. I like short bits that could like go on YouTube and watch the Defoe speech, any Defoe speech. I love Robert Defoe, Willem Dafoe. I love Willem Dafoe in The Lighthouse. The rest of the movie I don't care about, but like go in there and watch him monologue. And, like, yeah, that is a great scene in a movie that is boring.
Both performances are good with what they're given, but
Cinematography is
I
good.
do not like what they're
Plot
given.
is not.
Yeah,
I would
the
even
problem.
say the direction's good.
Now that's a movie that you liked that I coming out
I've
of it.
turned on
I-
that movie.
That I hated it. The minute I saw it, I'm like, this is some elitist bullshit, and I hate it. I hate it. So I'm hoping Nosferatu is a redemption for Robert Eggers because the trailer looks fantastic. So we'll see. All right, let's take a look at the box office. Let me see here. Number 10 was Borderlands. It made $2.4 million.
Who's seeing this movie?
$13.6 million it has made so far. I saw it. Go look on TikTok and watch my review.
Sorry, who's still seeing this
Yeah,
movie?
who's still seeing it?
I mean, not many. It's at 10.
Was
like-
it you that put that video up of where you can fully see an extra helping them open
Dalton.
Dalton.
It was double toasted. They pointed out that like there's this shot in the trailer where they're lifting up like a lid, and you can just clear as day see the fucking extra with his mask on helping hold-
open the lid. I can't unsee that now.
Yeah,
It's like, what the fuck?
I would like to know if that's in the final film.
Yeah.
because VFX changed between a trailer
You could certainly CGI that out pretty easy, but I don't know. All right, number 9 is Woman 2: Terror of the Headless. What the hell is this?
What the fuck is this?
Never heard of it. 2.5 million opening weekend. Never even heard of
Is
this.
this a Bollywood?
It could be. That would make sense.
Yeah.
This is Bollywood.
Oh, it is? All right, well, that makes sense.
Also, Stranger Things with like their poster back. I'm looking at the poster. I'm like, this is literally the Stranger Things
That's hilarious.
poster.
Number 8 is Inside Out 2. It made 3.4 million. It's made 642.4 million so far. Number 7 is Trap. It made 3.4 million. This is literally a few hundred thousand between, not even that, between these two. It's made 35.2 million so far. Not a great movie. Number 6 is Despicable Me 4. It made 6.2 million. It's made 340 so far.
Why are they still making money?
They are. Number 5 is Coraline. The 15th anniversary made 9.6 million for its opening weekends. Made 12.5 in total.
That's pretty good
For a
re-release.
For a reissue, it's pretty good. Yeah. Number 4 is Twisters. It made 10 million. It's made 238.6 million so far. Number 3 is It Ends With Us. It made 23 million, 23.8. It's made 97.5 so far. I saw it. That movie's for people who read the book. I'll just put it like that. Number 2 is Deadpool and Wolverine. It made 30 million. It's made 546 million so far.
I saw it like you're carrying that cross.
Yep. I saw it. And number 1 is Alien Romulus. Had a $42 million opening weekend. Is that all? Wow.
Hold up, real quick.
Is that correct?
Thoughts? Samantha asks.
Yeah.
Thoughts on The Thing? My 5-year-old wants to watch it, and hubby and I are excited to show it to her.
Ballsy to show that
5
movie to a
years
5-year-old.
old?
That's ballsy.
Just to confirm, we're talking about the 80s one, not
John
the 2011
Carpenter's.
and not the 50s one, right?
yeah, that
That might be okay. That's an
I wouldn't.
interesting pick.
I mean, I'd wait till 8. But, you know,
Hey.
it's just me.
you got to judge each 5-year-old by the. I mean, I think their 5-year-old plays Dead by Daylight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, so
I mean, you're talking one of the greatest.
horror movies of all time.
ever.
It's a 5 out of 5. Yeah,
It's unquestionably a 5 out of 5.
with incredible practical effects.
I mean, that 4K, it's disgusting.
That's the one she's into. That stuff. Okay, yeah.
I mean, if she's into it, I
Yeah.
mean, sure.
I mean, it's good. It's good. The only thing I would say for me, and it just really depends on your 5-year-old, but that movie is also kind of, it's not a smash up movie. It's a slower paced film. So there's that.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's not also super long, so that could help.
I mean, it's hour
Yeah.
40.
Yeah, that's not very long. Rank these movies out of 5. Stir of Echoes, 3. Wind River, 4. The Clove Hitch Killer, haven't seen it. Prisoners, 4.5. Identity, 3.5. The Killing of a Sacred Deer, 4.5.
4.5. Yeah.
There you go.
That was easy.
Done.
You know, one of these days I should watch Stir of Echoes, I guess.
It's fine. It's all right. Yeah.
I guess I'll just wait for the big screen experience at our local art house.
Because it'll end up being a midnight
sure-
movie at some point.
They'll be sure to show that any day.
It could happen.
They're
Listen,
going to show Jason X before.
they're showing Jason X coming up soon. All right, opening this weekend, Blink Twice. It's Zoe Kravitz's directorial debut, kind of a thriller horror movie, I think. 79% on Rotten Tomatoes, and then the Crow remake. Of course, we have no advance.
Man, I wonder why.
Wonder what's going on.
crazy.
Why don't we? The movie's so good. Why don't we have early, word on how good it is? What the fuck's going on with that?
I mean, just watch that trailer. That's how good it is.
It's gonna be quality. It's gonna be. I'm probably gonna see it tomorrow, so I'll let you guys know.
Dude,
Thank
no,
you.
that's
Thank
a
you for
waste
taking
of
that
an
bullet.
hour and 51 minutes. And
I need the numbers,
Where
sir.
are you at? What's the pushing 150? Where are we at right now?
I think. Let me tell you. I'll tell you. You guys.
While you're looking that up, Film Ball update. As of
Oh,
before
good. We have a film ball
weekend,
update.
for us at least. So in our game, Tina is at 250.5 million, pulling up 5th place. Nathan is at 307 million, so pulling up 4th.
Mhm.
Me at $516.8 million. Coming up in 2nd place is Steven with 680.3.
Here it comes.
And in 1st place with
yes.
almost a B, we got Zach with $943.9 million. That's probably not gonna change in 1st place, but I might come around to getting 2nd if
Shut your mouth!
I
Wolverine
get to
keep
hold
doing
on to
pretty
that
well.
trophy for another quarter.
Son of a bitch. Try not to break it.
It's just going to sit on top of my DVD shelf that looks like the thing from 2001, the black. It looks
monolith?
like the black thing.
The monolith.
The monolith, yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I
How's it
blame.
feel?
I blame.
No one believes me.
I blame Nathan for this. Somehow it's his fault.
I blame sheer luck because I really
stand
didn't
by.
expect the films I picked to do as well as they did.
I mean, we all knew Inside Out would be okay, but not fucking like that. We
Yeah.
did not know that was happening.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll have to see the trophy when he streams from his house. Because it is currently at his house because he owns it now because he won the last fucking game.
Well, yeah, the next time we do
Where
that, I will
it's
show it.
staying from now on.
Does seem to be where it's staying.
Now,
So
Steven,
if-
you do have some time left. Maybe Trap can pull it in for you. We'll
I don't
see.
see it happening.
It's going to happen. Trap's going to pull it off.
I wonder if it could just keep me inched above Nico to stay in second place.
It's very possibly going to keep you inched above me. So yeah, that's just Zach's. I think got some Harold and Purple Crayon money still coming in. So
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Really?
that might be it.
piece of shit movie. I angry reviewed that one too.
Thank you for your money.
So really quick, if you're new to the channel, what we're talking about is a fantasy film ball game that we run every 4 months. We take the movies coming out domestically, the wide release films, drop them in a hat, draw them, and we each have 100 virtual bucks to bid on the movies we think are going to make the most money within the first 4 weeks of release. Then, as you can tell, we smack talk each other until the end of the session. We have a trophy that we pass back and forth depending on who wins. If you are a subscriber to my TikTok, and I know there are a few of you in here, I think I am going to run a TikTok subscriber game also.
God.
So you guys can play if you would like to.
Oh, my God.
For the film ball, is it domestic gross or worldwide? It is only domestic gross because worldwide numbers don't always get reported for the lesser movies. It's something we just can't get the numbers in time.
Yeah, especially in a timely manner. It is specifically across 4 weeks, domestic only, because we're fairly confident we can get those numbers.
Yeah. that we haven't really run into an issue with those. The issues we do run into is if a movie just fucking gets pulled.
But that's
Yeah.
part of the game.
It is part of the game.
I could be hitting that Billy if Horizon came out.
Yep. But he had a movie pulled. Now, coming out of right after pandemic, it was wild trying to play this game because everything was
brutal.
getting bumped to streaming or pushed to the next year or whatever. It was pretty wild the first 2 years after lockdown, but we're pretty regular on it now. Mm-hmm. So we'll be running an additional game starting next month. Actually, the 1st of September we'll be scheduling games because that's when the next one will start, September through the end of the year. All right. Oh, and I am at 89 movies currently on my Pushing 150. That's where I'm at.
Ooh, 61 to go.
Getting very close to 100, baby.
Yep.
Only a few behind.
Only a few. You're really pulling for those 7 for 12
But
hours.
I'm like 3 behind from where I'm supposed to be. 3 or 4 behind. So.
I remember this from last year, too.
But I caught up. I was 8 behind, and I was clinched a little bit. But I made some headway this month watching a bunch of bullshit. So
Wasted time.
the whole thing is wasted time, but I love it anyway.
Yeah, but, you can have fun, and then you can suffer through it.
I suffered through some movies as of late. Borderlands, I suffered through it. I almost lean into... I waffled. Which is worse, Borderlands or Madam Web? And I think Madam Web is still worse.
Is there any glaring audio issues as bad as Madam Web in Borderlands?
No. In Borderlands, at least there's a lot of colors and shit. There's a lot of explosions.
But does someone get blinded underwater by a firework hitting them in the face?
No. That's why I said...
I think Madam Web
is still the worst, yeah. As bad as I hate... But you know what? I for some reason, I didn't hate Madam Web. Like, I wasn't as angry about Madam Web
because
as
it's
I
like
was
a
Borderlands.
sad... Like, it's a little sad kid that shit its pants.
Yeah,
it's like,
you feel bad for them.
Let's go get you changed.
Borderlands is an asshole.
Borderlands is that kid that shit his pants on purpose, and you're like...
You're an asshole. True. All right, let's jump into the stories.
All right. First story. I had a baby that I had to take care of.
I got you.
First story. Paramount Television Studios, which has produced shows like Reacher on Amazon Prime, A Gentleman in Moscow on Showtime, Station 11 on HBO, yada, 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 is shutting down amid various Paramount global layoffs and cost cuts. Paramount has begun to lay off 15% of its global workforce. This is brought to us by IndieWire, by the way, and eliminating many redundant roles. The CEO trying to find $500 million in annual cost savings. And they're soon to be bosses at Skydance, because Skydance bought or is in the process of buying Paramount. Will like to probably save some money as well. And a message to staff, co-CEO, we had 2 CEOs, Nicole Clemens and George Cheeks. Co-CEO George Cheeks said in his message specifically that going forward, current Paramount TV studio series and development projects will transition to CBS studios. So that's some of the redundancy that we were talking about. Paramount has multiple television studios. CBS will be taking the load off. Unfortunately, also from George Cheeks, in addition to Paramount Television Studios, there are members of CBS teams that will also be leaving the company as well. The Paramount Television Studios launched in 2013 as a division of Paramount Pictures, previously called Paramount Television, itself a revived brand that was originally dated back to the 60s and encompassed Desilu Studios, founded by Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball. Lucy is why we have Star Trek. So... True. At least Star Trek will still exist under CBS Studios, because if I didn't get any more Strange New Worlds, I would cry.
I would as well. Although I saw that Lower Decks is ending. I haven't watched it, but I saw it's ending.
It is, yeah, but it seems like it's a planned ending. It's like, all right, guys, 4 seasons, we're good, let's go out. I'm fine with that. I haven't caught up with Lower Decks. It's one of those shows that I could just watch an episode every now and then and be fine. It's very classic Trek in how episodic it is. And the humor can be hit or miss. It is very in-joke for Star Trek, which is weird for Star Trek, but it does work for some of its fans.
It's not really something that I was too interested in. I looked at an episode, the first episode or something, and it just didn't seem like my cup of tea. But I'm kind of interested now because I see that somehow or another there's going to be a Lower Deck Strange New Worlds crossover.
It was last season.
Oh, was it? So
Yeah.
I'm curious about that.
That was great. That
Yeah.
episode was fantastic. It does get better. Like I said, I've watched it on and off, and I do find as you progress through the first season and get into second, it does get better.
Okay.
But yeah, I could definitely understand why it's not for everyone. Regardless of that, the crossover episode with Strange New Worlds was really well executed, and Strange New Worlds is just the best Trek in decades.
And
So
Strange
highly-
New Worlds is the most accurate to Trek that we've had in a long time. If you like classic Trek, it really is the same vibe. So I was pretty upset when I first saw this news that they're just going to shut it down. And I feel like because this whole Skydance buying Paramount thing, there's a few other things that I'll bring up just a second that they're doing that piss me off. But looking at this feels like common sense to me to do this. Because during the heyday of studios making just tons of money, they had stuff like this. It was just dumb. Why is there Paramount TV and CBS Studios? It's the same company, both making TV shows. They had money to waste. So I think this is kind of a common sense move. And the shows that they're actually currently creating are not going away. So that's a good thing, because I like some of these shows that they're creating. But it does sound like a lot of people are going to lose jobs. And that part sucks. But it's because they've been rolling on money that they don't have. Now, do you want to know the thing that I am upset about? Due to this purchase, Paramount has had to freeze licensing agreements with Kino Lorber and Vinegar Syndrome.
Oh, damn it.
So all those beautiful Paramount 4Ks we've been getting from Kino are stopping. And I don't know if they're coming back. Because Skydance, I feel like Skydance is buying them and they want all the monies in and out to stop. And it's just crazy to me because Kino is paying. Vinegar Syndrome is
And they're
paying.
doing good quality.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of movies like Navy SEALs or whatever, but Navy SEALs just came out from Vinegar Syndrome and a very nice set, stuff like that. And now all of a sudden it's all just going to stop. Now, I have not been able to find out if it's permanent, if it's just during transition. I don't know, but it's stopping, and that's concerning for us physical media nerds. So
It's just...
it's crazy
Do
to
they
me that a
not
company
like
like...
money?
What's that?
Do they not like money?
Exactly.
Well, I mean, I do understand because the Skydance deal is just happening now. So I do understand putting a freeze on things while they get everything in order for actually owning Paramount. Assuming if it does eventually unfreeze. Now, if it does not unfreeze, if they do decide we're just going to end like the Kino relationship and stuff like that and not really do anything new or just do anything with the new toys that they just bought, then yes, that's terrible. I really hope Skydance didn't buy Paramount just to shelve it.
I don't think that's the case. I think Paramount, for a company like Skydance, I think Paramount makes sense as a distribution method. They've got the built-in infrastructure, studio infrastructure, and for in-house production. I don't think they're going to shelve. You talking about just like shelving the company?
Well, not like basically not do anything outside of just like general. Like, okay, we're going to keep making a Star Trek. We're going to keep making a Mission Impossible every now and then, but we're not going to do anything really good with like home media releases. We're not going to do anything progressive on new projects or working with taking risks on new films or on that most major studios probably wouldn't do. I just want them to do stuff with Paramount. I don't want them to just buy it and be lazy with Paramount.
Yeah, and I think I think it would be silly for them to not make money off the classics that
Yeah.
Paramount has in their catalog. So I don't know if that means repertory screenings or if it means physical media. I just hope that they do it, and I just want my Blu-rays. Damn it, I just want my Blu-rays.
Yeah.
Just give me my movies. Skydance is not a company I think about for stuff like this. I mean, I think about shitty Terminator movies when I think of Skydance. I mean, it's literally what I think of. So I don't know. $6 billion is a lot if they just shelve it. Yeah, that's true. Coming from the chat. So, guys, if you're watching right now and you want to throw us movie questions, feel free to do so. We'll just answer them between stories. But yeah, that was the first thing I thought. Is this makes perfect sense to do this? But I would love to see that cost savings get pushed over into some creative thing.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's like it's a redundancy that makes sense. Do something cool with the money.
Exactly. I there's part of me that is very scared that they are going to sell the Paramount studios that are in Hollywood. That is what I'm scared of.
That would suck.
Because I haven't gotten a chance to fucking go out there yet. And because of cost, old Hollywood is dying out. I mean, Warner Brothers just today announced a multi-billion-dollar deal to build in Vegas.
Really?
Because there's a big tax incentive in Vegas for them. And it's cheaper. And Vegas is not cheap, but it's cheaper than California. And Warner Brothers, the thing that I was reading is not a company that expands, they move. So they may very well be closing their stuff up or rolling it way back that's in Hollywood right now. So.
And this will be a perfect time for Neon and A24 to come in.
Swoop in. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't that be interesting if A24 bought the Paramount studio? I think they would probably keep a lot of the old stuff because A24 at least seems to have some appreciation for classic Hollywood. Although I'm a little scared of them right now. I think their expand or die thing is bothering me. We've talked about that a lot. All right, moving on.
Is it me?
Are you sure? Are you sure? Could it be you? Oh, you know what? We did our like opening stuff, and Zach, you didn't even mention the fact that we made a fucking movie this weekend.
Because you went on about last night, and I got side. Anyway, you
don't put that on me, sir. You could have jumped in.
Guess what, assholes?
we made a movie. Nico, we missed you guys during that shoot too. Saturday was the longest shoot we've had. I don't know if we've had a shoot this long.
I mean,
we shot 16 hours. We were working 16 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
We started at 7:30 in the morning on Saturday and wrapped at 11:30 that night.
Do we count? Well, wait, no, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, it's 15 hours. I was about to say maybe the Arc's Mortis Anamorphic Day because that was 12 to 3 a.m.
Yeah, but I'm talking about for a 48.
Yeah, for 48, no, nothing comes close.
Yeah, we haven't come close to this many hours. We've done 16-hour days in documentary, but
I'm trying to think of those days.
I would wager that I did some of those during Halloween when I was there by myself. When you were coming home and I was working during Hell Week.
I couldn't get off work.
Yeah, I absolutely did some 16-hour days that week because I was by myself. But yeah, so I had about a 4-hour after work, 4-hour writing session Friday night. Everybody was getting so frustrated too. I could just tell because the writing.
We just wanted to know, like, what's the idea for the plot?
The writing was taking so long.
What's you were like, I need a location for like this, and it's like, what's the context so we can kind of get an idea of what to look for?
Well, at that point we weren't sure which context we were going for. At that we were trying to still figure it out. But I was co-writing with Crystal Justine, who is on TikTok, and she's been in these. I'm surprised she's not in here right now, to be honest. At the end of it, though, how was the product, sir? It's a good fucking script. I'll answer for you.
It is a good script.
It's one of the best scripts we've had. It was a good story, and for all intents and purposes, we nailed that story. We had some of the best performances that we've had. We had some problems, just like always, because it's 48.
Man, can we quickly talk about Sunday morning?
Oh,
How
okay.
we nearly actually.
Sunday morning was rough. So there's a few people in the stream right now that I did live streams all weekend. So that probably saw some of this. But
No. This was, I just walked in.
Sunday
Tyler
morning,
walked in.
yeah, Sunday morning, the really bad stuff happened before I could get a live stream going. It's probably good because
I was turning white.
so one of the big things, the first thing that happened is Saturday we were shooting with a device, a monitor basically that has a hard drive on it, and you can record through the monitor to the hard drive. It gets you very good quality stuff, whatever. Well, Saturday night we had an issue where it started popping up that it wouldn't let you use it because it needed a firmware update.
No, it said like the firmware update failed and to
Which is so weird.
All we did was turn it off and then turn it back on and it did it.
Yeah. So we had to stop recording with it and just start recording to cards, to memory cards, which is fine. So we settled in. I had already started the import, bringing all the footage off the cards and off the hard drive for that device onto the computer, and we settled in and just started looking at the footage. And there was a lot of shit missing. Shit that we had recorded on that device.
We were sure we recorded it.
Yeah, but it was not there.
And it's like all of a sudden scene 7 is gone.
A pretty pivotal fucking scene for the movie.
And you're just like, well, our actor is now at a work.
Yeah.
And we can't get him. Our location would be compromised.
There's no way we could go back and film.
What do we do?
I started thinking about ways to gut the movie to try and save what we had, and it was going to be a disaster.
I started shaking and sweating.
It was bad. It was real bad.
People were like, Zach, you okay? And
but then,
no.
Thankfully, redundancy, Zach had also been hitting record on the memory cards. And the footage was backed up in one of the memory cards. But there for a good...
about 3-4 minutes.
3-4 minutes, we were shitting bricks. And it was rough.
And then we encountered a case where it's like, why isn't it importing Tyler's camera?
Yeah, it literally wouldn't import
There's
the
0
footage.
bytes. Oh my God, it happened again. It said it recorded and it didn't. I'm getting Creamroll Confessions 2 flashbacks all over. And we have this heart attack again.
This is all in the first 30 minutes of the fucking day on Sunday during post.
I was really not okay.
It was a hard...
I was like, can we stop this?
It was a hard start to the day. Now, once we got over those 2 humps...
that was the end of...
This thing was flowing. The only
the
issues
nightmare.
that we really... There's some other technical stuff that's really not worth talking about, but story-wise... It was there. We had to come up with some transitions here and there, how we get from one location to the other.
That's why you shoot a shit ton of B-roll.
And we had it, and it's a very cute movie. I can't wait for us to show it at the 48 because I think it was fun. We missed you guys. You guys would have had a good time with us because you would have mostly probably been sitting in the movie theater eating popcorn for about 4 hours.
I mean, that would have been good. Yeah.
Yeah. The big thing that happened, though, last week is Crystal and I had come up with concepts that we were going to do. And it was all set. We just had to draw and see which genre it was going to be. 2 days. 2 days. And I had set, in my mind, I had kind of mapped out about a 10-hour shoot in the theater.
Which I guess you could say is about standard, if not just a titch longer.
Yeah. So I was thinking about 10 hours. 2 days before the draw, the owner of the theater calls me, and he said, man, I can only get you in there at 11:15. You got to be done by 5, which is 4.5 hours, taking up time for equipment breakdown at the end of the day. And I was like, well, shit. That changed everything right there because we couldn't exclusively shoot the bulk of our movie in that space. I had to then go back to Crystal and say, listen, we have to break the entire movie equally across multiple locations, which ended up being 3 locations.
Yeah, but it was 4. So we start the morning at location 1.
Yeah.
Then go to location 2.
Which is the theater.
Back to location 1.
Back to location 1. Yeah. So we were shooting in the bagel shop. And a bagel shop. So that morning, we shot B-roll footage in the bagel shop while it was open. And that was cool. We were kind of in the way, but that was cool. And then we go to theater, shoot theater. Then we go back to bagel shop. I had to push a lot of our story into this bagel shop because we had it after close. So we kind of had flexibility. And we shot a shit ton in there.
About 3 hours in there.
And then we had to drive 30 minutes to the last location, and we were there till
from
9:30
until
11:30.
11:30.
And as we're trying to pack out gear the monsoon happens.
God said,
Fuck you
in particular. And lightning and rain rained from the sky. Our cars are outside. Our gear is inside. I hate my life.
Yep. So it was
it's not just that, but you're like, I'm exhausted and I have an hour drive back home.
And then we have a 9 o'clock call time the next morning for editing.
Everything.
Yeah. It was something. It was something. Now, the end of the night shoot, it was just crew. It was just me and Zach and Mike.
And Tyler.
And Tyler.
And Stephanie.
And 2 actors.
And Stephanie.
Yeah, Stephanie was assistant directing. So, yeah, we had that. It was way more crew than it was actors, but that's typical. It was a fun weekend, and we did a cute movie. I can't wait for everybody to see it.
Okay, you had director of photography. You had assistant
director.
You had second AD or second camera.
Second cam.
And sound.
And director. Yeah.
Seems like bare bones.
Pretty bare bones. No lighting person, no grips, none of that. In the chat, is Hollywood dying for good as we know it?
No.
With the popularity of streaming services, will the mainstream industry exist in scattered locations in the future? So I think some of this is probably true. I think Hollywood, as it has been the first 100 years of cinema, probably is changing. I don't think dying is the word.
It's in transition.
Yeah, because the problem is, it was such a locked down industry. They had such a very precise money-making mechanism that they were able to just do this for so long. But streaming, for better or for worse, and I think honestly to me, mostly for worse, has busted it all up, and now it's much harder to make money. Streaming is not making money, and that's problematic. And now Hollywood is feeling it because they spent a shit ton of money to try to be on the top of streaming, and they didn't get any return on it. So I think what we're going to see is compression. The last I saw was from the producer of the Florida Project. I follow her on TikTok. She said that within her circles, she's hearing a 30 to 40% compression, which is a huge compression. It's big.
Jeez.
But what comes out of that, I hope, is better product, better content. Now, right now, we're in a safety space where it's just, let's do something we know will make money. And I think we need companies like Neon to continue to make film and not content. And it's going to be weird. It's going to be weird next 10 years or so. It's going to be very weird. Do people audition for the 48 with you guys? And if so, how do I audition for the next one? Samantha, you don't have to audition. I'll find something for you to do. So with the 48, typically we have a crew of actors that work with us every year. Now, this year I brought in 2 new actors just to try them out. And the 48 runs so fast, you don't really have time for stuff like auditioning.
No.
You're taking a chance.
I mean, usually it's you come down to your gut and you're like, it's going to be that person or that person. Mm-hmm. And then you say, fuck it. You know, in some situations like that, you say, fuck it, do this scene twice and then let's decide. Or if it's, in one instance, it was an audio recording. Just do both and decide later.
Mm-hmm. Now, normally what I will do is if it's a new actor that we haven't worked with before, I bring them on the first time and give them a very small role. Couple lines, see how they do. And then move them around as we progress. This year, we were kind of fucked. We
needed bodies.
This has been a struggle. This year's been rough because one of our main actors got a gut infection and couldn't be here.
He's still in the film.
He's still in the film. We found another way to do it on the phone or whatever. But
technology's an amazing
technology's a thing. But we lost him. We lost some.
Why isn't that bitch ass here tonight?
Right.
Now, when you say fucked, you're not talking about with cupcakes, right?
No, not with cupcakes. That year we were all fucked in a good way.
I don't know if I would call that a good way.
It was a good way. Don't lie. You loved it. But yeah, we lost a handful of actors for a variety of reasons. And we lost male actors. Our guy, we had Mark, who was a regular actor with us, couldn't get back in town in time. So I had to put the word out, find some actors, and I found a couple. I looked at their audition stuff. They had online videos of previous things that they've done. And I'm pretty good at when someone talks, figuring out how to use them. And the female actor we picked up, Crystal and I kind of agreed that
She's perfect.
her voice made her perfect for the role that she was given. And the new actor we had, he was very good. He was very good at emoting in his face. So we played on that pretty heavy in the movie. And it's one of those things where you kind of just like have to...
It's one of those moments where it's like, cut. Wait, no, let's do a rehearsal.
Yeah.
Okay, let's rehearse it. And then you watch the rehearsal and you're like, man, we could have recorded that.
Yeah, or it's another moment where we shoot a scene. We only had time to shoot it from one angle. But then I'm watching it from the director's eye, and I see this guy give me like this facial expression that's like, fuck, I need this.
I told you. I was like, I fucking hate this angle.
Yeah, but you know why we were doing it.
I know. It's exactly what we're supposed to be doing. I fucking hated it.
But you hated it because of the look.
Yes.
I changed it because of his performance. I'm like, fuck, this guy's doing something really good.
No,
we need
it
to
was
film
the right call to make.
Yeah.
I can still look at it and go, personally, I would have not done this had we not been going for this look.
So, okay, so for...
if it was up to me, it'd be anything else.
Yeah, but there was a reason for it. So for something like a 48 project, do you have rights specifically for the actors that you have available? So
we have.
That
We have.
we fucking do every time, and that is one thing I told Crystal is these are the actors, these are the locations, these are our limitations writing wise. So we had to write for the actors that we have. We always write for the actors we have. But on top of that, when we're crafting dialogue, a couple of our actors aren't trained actors. They're just cool people that are good on camera. So we will sort of mash the dialogue up to work for that person. We have one actor who's great if you let him play himself. Mm-hmm. And when you let him play himself, he's great. So I try to write him into the script to let him be himself. So yeah, it's a different way of writing for any other project. You'd never do this any other way. All right, I know we diverted, but we didn't actually talk about that.
There's no time.
There's no time. There's no fucking time.
You'd be surprised how little 48 hours
You would be surprised. All right, we got one last story.
Sure. We technically skipped over Zach's, but we're near an hour, so let's go.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, Rotten Tomatoes is introducing a new metric or a new, basically, type of branding to put on its films. So, Rotten Tomato, the film rating site, typically has two metrics it rates on. One is critics, and the other is audience score. The audience score is now called the popcorn meter. Now, if a film is very critically well received, it is certified fresh because it uses the tomato scores on that. That's where the Rotten Tomato aspect is. If it's rotten with bad critic scores, if it's got good critic scores, certified fresh is the stamp that the movie gets. But what about the audiences? When the critics don't like a movie, if the audiences love the movie, now it is going to be verified hot, air quote. Movies that qualify as verified hot will be movies that have an audience score of 90% or more among its user ratings. But the catch is you have to have actually bought a ticket. Now, currently, they only know that if you buy it through Fandango. Fandango owns Rotten Tomatoes. So if you buy your movie ticket through Fandango, Rotten Tomatoes can tell if you actually paid to see this movie and thus are a qualified audience member in terms of rating if something is verified hot or not. Rotten Tomatoes is currently trying to work with other ticketing systems to see if there is a way in which they could connect their services, but that is pending for the future.
So if I go to REG Movies and get my ticket, it don't count. If I go to AMC, it don't count. If I go to my local art house, which they have their online, it don't count. This is bullshit. And also, this is the same system they've had previously.
Yeah,
this is no different.
Yeah, the popcorn meter is just what they used to call their audience rating. They just put a new branding on it.
Verified audience is what they call it.
Is the new bit.
I think this is just a big convoluted way to try to get more people to buy tickets through Fandango so they can get that popcorn rating bullshit, whatever it is. I also think there will be people that figure out some way to game it. I just think there's going to be some loophole or some shit. I don't know.
I think that might be a factor. There could be multiple factors going into it, but I think something else that could be tying into this is movie studios want something to promote when basically want a stamp they can put on their promotion when something isn't certified fresh because it's not a critically acclaimed film, but it is getting high audience remarks. So they want something from Rotten Tomatoes, which is a often used source from moviegoers of, do I want to see this movie or not? If they have some sort of branding from Rotten Tomatoes saying, hey, people like this movie, go see it, they're probably being motivated to pressure Rotten Tomatoes into that. And when I say pressure, I'm sure Rotten Tomatoes is A-okay with it, but I could see the idea coming from multiple aspects. Movie studios and internally Rotten Tomatoes and Fandango trying to convince people to buy through Fandango instead of other sources.
Yeah, well, I'm not paying your extra $2.30.
Yeah, just something. Well, and the problem that they have is I feel like more and more people are dipping into the subscription model, and that doesn't work for them unless
even if they aren't, you could still with the big box movies just go through their app. Like I don't currently have a movie subscription because we don't go nearly frequently enough now that we have our toddler, but I could still just buy a movie through the AMC app in the rarity that I actually get to go see a movie.
And there's a convenience factor to that, too, because you could also tap another button and go ahead and get your concessions in one purchase and not have to go paying the fees, the subscription, the upgrade fees, or whatever the fuck they call it now when you use a service like Fandango. It's just, I don't think this is going to work. I don't
think it worked previously.
Yeah. I don't get it.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know I don't think in terms of getting people to use Fandango, I really think I'm more on the movie studios want something that they can market as audience members really like this. I think that's more of the impetus than Fandango trying to get movies.
Probably. That makes sense.
I'm sure that's part of the math, but I don't see what would help. So yeah, maybe it might help. I don't know. I think people want to brand their movies as verified hot. Movie studios want to go, people like our movie. They set it on Rotten Tomatoes. Go see our movie.
The only thing I'll be curious about is to see if this impacts the spread, like the percentage spread between critics and audience. That'll be the interesting, because it's going to be hardcore people that want to do this.
I mean, I almost don't want to trust the audience to begin with, because
I usually don't.
I mean, look, we know The Rise of Skywalker is a giant piece of shit.
We do, yes.
Well, it holds like an 86% audience score.
Yeah, that's fucked. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, I can't trust y'all.
All right. Well, did we, in the article, does it say when it's going to launch?
It's
now.
already launched.
It's out there.
You can already go to the website and see Verified Fresh.
All right, this will be interesting to follow and see how it does. Really quick, Nicholas asked, "What is Zach's position in the 48?" He is a director of photography. He's been my co-producer and director of photography for 10 years, maybe more, maybe a little more than that now.
I started out doing a
second cam.
No.
Oh yeah, you did something before second cam.
Grip.
That's right. You started as a grip,
and then moved up to second cam, then moved up to DP.
Yep.
And editor.
That's what happens.
This is what, you know what happens when I'm going, hey, this computer could be faster. Take my sticks of RAM from my computer and put it in yours.
That actually happened during a post one time.
Yep.
Samantha's stage acting is fine. One of our primary actor, her name is Catherine, is a stage actor. And you know what's great about her is she always projects. We don't have to worry about miking her as much. She's great. So that's fine. So Samantha, you're brave. Acting wouldn't be for me. Scary as hell. Well, we can always use a grip. We can always use somebody to move a box.
We can always use room meat.
We can always use room meat. That's the thing. People that get on our team that say they're scared of acting still end up standing around in the background of a shot because we need bodies.
Yeah, because if you're shooting a movie theater and people watching a movie, you need people in butts and seats.
And you need butts and seats.
You'd be surprised how hard it can be sometimes.
All right, so new this week on Blu-ray. Let me scroll down to it because we did skip Zach's story. Can't Hardly Wait is out in a 4K. Death to Smoochie is out in a Blu-ray. There's an Evil Dead DVD 4K collector's edition. I don't know if that's a new box or what. The Last Unicorn is out in 4K. Red Eye is out in 4K. That's a reissue. Tremors 7-movie collection, Prime Cut 4K, and Let Him Go on 4K. Some of these I don't know, but that's okay. It's on 4K.
So is there anything particular about the Death to Smoochie, or is it just a re-release?
It's just a re-release on Blu-ray. I don't see anything new about it. Didn't even say collector's edition. Just I think maybe it went out and they just put it back. Because that's what happened with Red Eye. The Red Eye 4K went out. It's Paramount, so you better fucking get it if you want it. And I actually like Red Eye quite a bit. It's a good movie. All right, let's bring this baby to an end. Nico, where do we find you on the internet, sir?
You can find everything I do online at the website nicholasqualls.com. If you're on the video version, it's under my name on this side there. I mostly post online on Blue Sky and Instagram. You'll see most of my book reviews there.
Zachy boy?
You can find me on Instagram. I'm Master of the Matrix 91. I need to post my 48-hour post. So that's coming out eventually. You can find me on Discord and Steam, a Dangerous Meat Lunatic, and on Letterboxd, Master Z91. And you can find me at the 48-hour film festival, Group C.
Group C, baby. Tickets going to sell Friday?
Friday.
Yep. So find me at all things OTS Movies, mostly TikTok, OTS Movies, Off the Shelf Movies on Instagram, which is just repostings of TikToks. And yeah, that's really the two places. And on Letterboxd, if you're interested in my Pushing 150 project, the project where I'm trying to see 150 movies in 1 year, I do rate everything I see in the theater. That's basically the only thing I use Letterboxd for. And I try to write about most of it. So head on over there. It's OTS Movies on Letterboxd. I'm starving, so I guess let's wrap this thing up. We'll see everybody next week. Nobody said bye but me.